Hello, everyone. Today I want to introduce one of our great ladies that I work with, and I develop a great friendship with her. I find out that we're actually super close neighbors. We have a lot of people in common, and I want her to share her story. Silvia, thank you so much for your time and for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to ask you a question because a lot of people, especially a lot of females, are out there in perimenopause, and that's when everything started to change. All of that. Could you tell us what you were experiencing, what symptoms you were having before you joined the program?
So the main issue that I was having was migraine. So it came from just headaches to having a migraine sometimes once a week. And when you have that, it's like you are zero energy. You don't even have control of your day, of your actions. So that's when I realized that I needed to do something else.
And how these migraines were affecting your daily life?
So pretty much having a migraine is you gotta stop right away. The migraine you see, like some of us, we see like the black spots coming, and you need to go to a dark room. You need just to be home, or you just need to be like in bed.
Mhm.
And it takes a full day, 2 days to recover. So you pretty much have no control of your day, and it takes one day, 2 days to recover. It's like charging a phone with a bad cable. So it's like a zero, like you don't recharge enough to continue with your days. So for me, that was like, okay, I cannot continue having this every week. So one day with migraine, 2 days trying to recover. So the next 3 or 4 days that I had for the week, I wanted to do everything. Like what you do in 7 days, I wanted to do it in 3 days or 2 days. And that was like, I said, okay, I'm burned.
No, migraines are very debilitating. And how was this affecting you at work, with your family, with your husband, your children?
So seeing the kids, me like that every single week and stopping a regular day, like not taking them to sports, staying home and not going to work, and not using the computer, not going to the gym. So it was like not doing a regular life. I'm 48. So I had to stop. One of my kids told me you don't deserve to be like that. So I said, okay, I need to do something. And I start asking a friend, and that's when your name came. And she said she was helping me. And I said, so if you know what a migraine is and she helped you with that, I need to contact her. And that's why I made the first contact. That was back in July 2025.
Yeah, and I'm happy that we got to get together because now you're like all the changes and all the improvements, especially being able to be with your family and your kids again, right? That's what moms we want to be. We want to
Correct.
be with our children and we want to be able to do the things that we love. And then when we can't, that's hard, especially for us females that we do everything.
So you get to the point that you don't want to go out and go out to a restaurant because you don't know if the food that they're gonna have, the food that you're gonna order is something that's gonna trigger your migraine. You don't want to go different places because you don't know how that atmosphere is gonna affect you. So it's everything. So
Mhm.
it was like a kind of home was my safe place, but that's not what real life is.
Mhm.
So that is also part of what you have to see is like we need to be able to be good and different outside of the house too.
Exactly. And besides migraines, you were experiencing any other symptoms that females experience during perimenopause, like bloating, weight gain, and other things?
I think it was related because if you have the migraine, so you don't rest well. So you don't have even the energy to simple things like prepared meals. I wasn't able to exercise properly. I was going to the gym, but I didn't have the energy to spend my hour at the gym as I needed. I wasn't sleeping properly, resting. So all of that, it was like an ice ball getting and bigger and bigger and bigger. So yes, everything was opposite as it should be.
Yeah, it was everything was compounding and getting
It,
worse because of the migraines.
it was getting
And
worse.
this is something very common for females, especially in perimenopause with the changing hormones and especially the drop in progesterone and inflammation in the body, toxins, everything that we accumulate through the years compounds and make the migraines even worse, from sensitivities, from digestive issues, or parasites, overgrowth of bacteria. All of that also encompasses, and we work on all those things. So
Correct.
yeah, that's good. And then when do you started things to improve, to see changes and improvements in your health?
So I remember the first call was July. And after the blood work and all the tests that we did, I remember you sent me a plan. You talked to me about a plan. And I said, how I'm going to get into that. I remember you saying this is going to take some time, some preparation. So the first week, I remember saying, I don't think that I'm going to be able to continue with this. It was getting to like a protocol, vitamins, food preparation, and things like that. The first week, I almost stopped. And I remember texting you and I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue with this. And I cried and I was like, okay, no, this is a total mess. Second week, I remember meeting every Monday. Second week, I was like, I can see things changing. But that second week is when I realized, okay, I need to have a plan. So for example, on Sunday, I'm going to see how my week is going to look like. I need to see what I'm going to eat those days. I need to prepare for that as we prepare for a trip. I said, okay, I'm going to prepare for my week, and it started getting better and better and better. Third week was easier. But for me, the 4th week is when I start even seeing physical changes, not only with my migraines, even my face, it looked different. I was retaining water too. So the physical changes, I saw that, and my kids saw that, my husband saw that. So I said, okay, this is working.
Yeah, that's good. Now I remember seeing your face changing, and that's all the
Yes.
inflammation that your body was releasing. And that happened a lot in perimenopause. And then we feel like, oh, we're gaining a lot of weight, we're gaining a lot of fat. And when we think about it, it's usually the inflammation that is in our body, retaining fluids and some foods that were causing the distress. And that's a big one, because sometimes we eat things that we think that they're healthy, and but they are also causing some distress in the body. And that's important to work on healing the gut so we can expand eating more foods. Or sometimes we have to listen to our body and say, okay, my body really likes this and doesn't like that. And for
Correct.
you, that was a big one too, to understand the power of how food was healing you too, and then how other foods were also causing some distress in the body.
Correct.
That's good. That's good. And then now what feels different about your body after you went through all the steps and transformation? What do you notice in your body?
So I think the fact that I have more energy now, and I can exercise more. So my energy level, I would say now is back to normal. I increased the activities that I was doing so I can add a little bit more on my day because I know that I'm capable of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps mentally too, because I was getting stuck. I was getting to the point that I was like, okay, I'm going to be working from home. I'm just going to spend a few hours here, a few hours there. Now I can have a plan and I see, okay, I'm back to being productive. So that's a huge change for me, for my family, for work, for my body, for my mind.
Yeah, 100%. Being the person that you used to be,
Exactly.
it's is priceless, and we don't know how bad sometimes we are until we get better, and you're like, wow, all the things that I was missing because I
Yes.
was not feeling good. So that's great. And then next question I have for you is like, what helped you to stay consistent during the program and everything that you were doing? How do you find the strength?
So, you start seeing small changes. And once you see that it's working, you see the reason to continue. And I remember the group meetings that we had on Mondays. So, seeing all these ladies talking about small changes that we were sharing and saying, okay, it took me a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and like small steps. It wasn't only me, it was a group of ladies on the same page. So, it's only consistency. And if you have a goal, like we were setting goals, I remember every week we said, okay, this week we're going to work in this week we're going to work in something else. So once you reach that, you're saying, okay, it's working. It only takes time.
Exactly. And it's the time that we invest in ourselves that sometimes, because we invest time for a lot of people and especially for our children and work and our community, our parents. And if someone calls us to do something, we're there. but it's
right
like
away.
how hard it is to make time for ourselves and that self-care, that self-love. And I even struggle with that sometimes. And but it's the only way that I have been able also to keep myself healthy. It's like always prioritize myself and make time for myself when I see the best changes. Because if I feel good, then everything around me works. If I don't
Correct.
feel good, nothing around me works. And that's, I think that's a great lesson. And what would you say to a woman that feels stuck right now and can't start their journey towards getting healthy?
You know that I realized that asking friends and sharing with them how I was feeling, so being honest, not getting that like, okay, this is the way that it should be, like, okay, we're getting older and just live with that. I don't believe in that. I believe in living in a healthy life. So if I didn't share that with my friend, the way that I was feeling, how are you going to find the right person? So it wasn't her, but she had someone that helped her also, because she was having the same situation, kind of the issues that I was facing. So just talking to someone, and it's a lot of us on the same page, and probably just getting to the person and be patient, because it doesn't happen in 1 week, 2 weeks. It takes time,
It takes
but
time.
it's worth it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that you
Yes.
said it right. It's like believing in yourself, finding a community like you did, finding a community of other ladies that were doing the same thing. So then you don't feel that you're doing this by yourself or you're the only one going through this. Because it can feel very lonely when you feel sick, and especially when you're doing all this stuff. And it's can be overwhelming because you have to improve your diet, you have to start making time for exercising, prioritizing sleep. And when before those things you were not probably doing, because we kind of like live when we were like in our 20s. Well, we don't sleep that much, we whatever, we drink whatever, right? Those like were
No.
the golden time where nothing impact our health. But as we're getting older, we need more nutrients, we need more rest, right? It's like metabolically we're changing, so we need more TLC. And making those changes, finding a community, like you say, is so important when we feel like we're stuck and we can't continue. And also have a
Correct.
lot of faith, right? I'm very spiritual, excuse me, knowing and having the certainty that we can get better, and then praying and working our spiritual health also is very important to heal our physical health.
I
Very
remember
important.
on Mondays on the meetings that we had, it was never a simple question. I remember that we all came to those meetings full of questions, and it was an answer for every single one. And probably was like a shame to us. But once I remember, if it wasn't you, it was the other ladies answering the questions. So you feel like, oh my God, why I didn't ask this before? Because it's just not me, it's not my body, it's all of us, different ages, because on that group we had people younger than me, older than me, and so it's not about the age. So some of us we started earlier, some ladies they start a little bit later in the process.
Yeah, that's part of perimenopause. Someone can start as early as their early 30s having symptoms. That
Mhm.
happened to me. And then others, they feel it more closer to their 50s or beyond, right? So we don't know when our health is going to, our cellular health is going to demand more nutrition or more help. The important thing is knowing that it doesn't matter the age that you are, you can get better and feel like your young self again. That's uh,
Correct.
that's something that I believe. Even the importance of taking care of ourselves right now, is going to help us to age, healthier and enjoy our kids and our grandkids, and not being a burden to anybody. Because I see it in my family, a lot of family members that are very sick, that they need constant care, and they work their whole life and then they not able to enjoy it. And I think a lot of us in our generation have a lot of parents and uncles and grandparents that we saw suffering a lot. But now with all the information that we have, now we know that we don't have to live that way. And that's
Correct.
huge. And then the next question that I have, what almost make you stop? And I think you talked a little bit at the beginning about this. What make you almost stop not starting the program, but what made you decide anyway, okay, I'm going to do this?
You know that I like a week before that we had the first meeting, I saw a doctor. a neurologist, and she said something to me. She said, you need to deal with your migraines and live with that. And she was much probably younger. I said, first, she doesn't know probably what a migraine is because you cannot even live with that every week. And second, I don't believe that you need to get used to that. But if you stay with that concept because it's a doctor, you will say, okay, I'm going to live with that. I'm just going to get medicine every single day. And that's it. That was the first like a call for me. But then I kept talking to friends and I said, I cannot live with that answer. And when you see people that is being treated and is made a change, and they said, you don't have to because I was on that position and now this is where I am. So you see that it can be different. It can be a different life. So that was for me the first like, okay, I need to get used to live like this. But then I said, I'm not going to do it. And then when you start the program, first week is tough, very tough. So by Wednesday, you are like, I'm not doing this. It's a lot of changes in your diet that it makes you feel like you cannot even control that. But then once you take a break and you see the reason why you're doing it, and if you get organized, like you do, like you plan a trip, you just plan your week, your day, it gets much easier.
I agree 100%. And what you share is so powerful, right? Like, and that happened to so many people in general, not all females. Like you go to the doctor and then that's your diagnosis. And I remember when I was experiencing all my night sweats and I couldn't sleep at night and I was just drenched on sweat and I was bloated and constipated. I went to the doctor and he's like, well, this that's part of aging. He told me the same thing. You just have to learn how to deal with that. And a male doctor, of course. And I'm like, I am 34. Like my symptoms started so early too. And I'm like, I can't live like this every day. I'm super young. I have young kids. I want to be healthy mom,
Around.
a healthy, wife and all those things. And then what you said is terrible that they told you, right? Like, you just have to deal with your migraines when they don't even know how debilitating they are, right? Like debilitating your whole day and you can do anything. And then medications, maybe they work, maybe that day they don't work. How are you going to live like that, right? But we can't blame
Correct.
doctors too, because unfortunately, they're not trained to find the root cause. It's not part of their training, right? They're great at diagnosing and prescribing, but that's the only two things that they were taught to. And I'm very grateful of doctors because when people come to me, they already have a diagnosis. And then I'm like, okay, now we know what we need to work with. So it's very important to have a clear diagnosis and people to go to their doctors. But at the same time, they don't have the training to look beyond how we can fix the problem. And with functional medicine, with improving your nutrition, like targeting things, we can get much better. And it will be great if they will be taught that, right? I think will be more healthier as a society in general. But I think we're moving into that direction, like slowly. It's happening slowly, but it's going to happen eventually, that this knowledge will be more for everybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's my goal too, right? To teach and share experiences like what we're doing today to other people so they know that there's hope, that they don't have to live with pain or or dealing with their perimenopause and suffer and struggle, because it affects your relationship, it affects your children, it affects your work. And then if we're not good, females, we just pretty much are the foundation of our society. And if we're sick, the society crumbles. So that's why it's so important that we invest in females and that we invest in our own health. I agree. Well, thank you so much, Silvia. And then last question, would you recommend this program to other females out there?
Oh, 100%. And I think even for us that we have teenagers, girls, it should be a program that it will teach these girls that different phases that they're gonna see, because I don't think that we were told that we were facing this. Or okay, this is
No.
the way that you age. So 100%, this is something that it should be part. It needs to be part of us, and we need to be more open because it's not for us. It's for the society. This is a class that we need to take.
I agree.
This is a program that we have to join. Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Silvia. And it has been a pleasure to help you. And nothing gives me more joy than helping others, especially females, to find themselves again and getting better, because it impacts everything, right? And it just gives me so much joy. There's nothing much rewarding than seeing you and seeing everyone that I
Yes.
work with improving their health. So thank
And
you so
thank you
much for
for,
trusting me, and
no,
to
thank you for doing it.
of course, and for you to follow the, trusting me to follow the program, because that's what made the difference, right? It's not just me telling you what to do, you did it.
Yeah, it makes a difference that you were always there, not only on our Monday calls, but it was just like a text, a call away. So thank you.
Of course, my pleasure. Well, thank you so much, Silvia, for your time and for sharing your experience with your health.
Thank you.
Bye bye.